Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Srinivasa Biology Tutorials. For this session to discuss Ncert Class 12 Chapter 4 Principles of Inheritance and Variation is what? Sexual determination. The mechanism of sexual determination always been the fossil before the in genetics. See, the initial curve there about the genetic and chromosomal mechanism, the sexual determination can be there traced back in some experiments carried out in the insects. Fact there in cytological observations made of the number of insects lead to as in development of the concept the genetic chromosomal basis of the sexual determination. So here what happened, the different chromosomal mechanism they show as in the different expressions that depending upon the genes how do the chromosome their behavior takes place, the automatically they show as in their completely their characters. Okay, that is. And hanging in 1891 he could as in trace the specific nuclear structure and through as in the spermatogenesis and few insects, and it is also the observed as in him in 50% of in the sperms received the structure of the spermatogenesis. So the scientist was in a hanging, he first there noticed as in the collection of in a some completely there some specific nucleus in that in a spermatogenesis after he did as in experiments, whereas in the 50% of the sperms he did not receive it. So 50% only there he received, 50% he not completely the received. The hanging give as a name that structure of in X bodies. What the 50% did not they receive, and which if the 50% spermatogenesis is received, that is called as what? That is in X bodies, but could not the explain the significance further. The investigation of that in a scientist lead to the in a conclusion that in X bodies hanging was in a fact in the chromosome. So he not completely explain about as in a what is that six bodies, what is X bodies, he not completely they get explained. And that why is given the name of the X chromosome. Why they given as an X chromosome means, see here they show as an X bodies, it is an X chromosome, it is in a Y chromosome. Okay, here the mostly the females comes as in what, it is in a completely XX chromosome. Like when you observe as in a, it is in a completely male Drosophila, it is in a female Drosophila. See here also the X chromosome, Y chromosome, and here completely has an X chromosome that in a female Drosophila. Okay, and here it next he was also is observed that in a large number of insects organisms the sex determination it is an XO type. The mostly they having as what? XO type. Here the all egg bear as in their additional of X chromosome based on their other chromosomes, they are completely called as in a autosome. So when you observe to as in the XX chromosomes, here they show as in what? Complete XO type is common, and he was they say about as in a the other X chromosome based on a other chromosome is called as what? They are the completely autosomes. They completely autosomes, and some of the sperms bear X chromosome, whereas some does not there appear. So some chromosomes there appear and some chromosome does not there appear. Already we discussed that one only. Okay, and the egg fertilized sperm having as X chromosome become as in a females, and the fertilized sperm do not have an X chromosome, that is in a male. So there's some fertilized the sperms do not have an X chromosome become as what? Males. And do you think the member of chromosomes in that in a male and female the equal? So they having about the completely X chromosome is present in a female, XY is present on that in a male chromosome. Okay, the X chromosome determination of the sex it was in a different they are distinguished the sex chromosomes and the rest of the chromosomes where they named as in a autosomes. So which they are functioning, there is that X the sex chromosomes we are named is called as what? That is in a completely in a autosomes. Okay, and here the grasshopper is an example of the XO type of the sexual determination, which is in the males and having X chromosomes based on the autosomes, where then a females has in a the pair of in a X chromosome. So for example here taking as an X chromosome and XY chromosome. So here is X is the completely expressed to as in that in a character they given clearly here. So determination of the sex chromosomal differences capital A small b, the both the humans the Drosophila, the females they pairs as an XX chromosomes and homogenetic they form, and the male XY the heterozygous the composition. Many birds females as a pair of the dissimilar chromosomes they show as what? In a completely ZZ that male in a ZW, that is what? It is in a completely female characters. Okay, next. After this observational to lead that in a investigation the member of the species to understand the mechanism of the sex determination. So these all observations based on then only we completely they explain about as in the sex determination mechanism. Sex determination mechanism. Okay, and here in number of other insects, mammals including as an XY type sex determination seen that in a both male and female the same number of chromosomes. So in the some insects we have in what XY chromosome and XX chromosomes also we are noticed. Among the male X chromosome is present, but in counterpart of the DNA distinctly the smaller the called as in a Y chromosome. In that smaller one is also there present in that males, that is in a Y chromosome, and female they have in a pair of X chromosome, the both male and female bears on the same chromosome, that is called as what? Completely autosome. So when they are completely present as in a one X chromosome and Y chromosome, this is called as what? That is in autosomes. And here's the male's autosomes plus XY, it is in a completely XY, and there while the female the autosomes in XS, so XS plus, it is in a XS plus. Next, the human beings and the Drosophila, the males has an X chromosome, the Y chromosomes, where then a females having a pair of X chromosomes. They having as in a pair of X chromosomes present as in that autosomes in that in a females, in that females. Okay, next. After whereas the females here, whereas the females the X chromosome in the autosomes complete, yeah. In that above the description of you have in the study about as two types of the sex determining mechanism. So when you observe to as two types of sex determination mechanism, one is in a XO type and the one is in a XY type. One is in a XY type. The both in male produce the two different types of gametes. So they are produced as in both completely male gametes. Here either with or without X chromosome, or some gametes are X chromosome in some without in a Y chromosome. So sometimes they get produced as in a O and sometimes they could get produced as in a Y chromosome. Such types of the sex determination mechanism, it is in a designed to be explained as in a male heterogamy. It shows as in a male heterogamy means it is show as in two different characters, right? That is. And in some organisms, example in birds and different mechanisms sex determination to observe in this case of the total number of chromosomes on the same both males and females. So the total number of chromosomes as present as both and male and female. Here for example they have 23, also it comes as in completely the 23 pairs of the chromosomes as forms. But two different types of the gametes, the term sex chromosomes, that is in a sex chromosomes the produce as in a females. They get completely sex chromosome produced as which one? That only for the female. So that is called as what? The female heterogamy. So it is a complete the females to get produced in two different kinds of the chromosomes. Next, in orderly having a discussion with as in a mechanism of sex determination, the described earlier. So it is completely explained about as in that earlier only. The two different sex chromosomes, so the female birds has been as in a differently as in a Z and W. So the having as in a ZW is present, and the organisms the females to have in a ZW. Here the other organisms we see as in a ZW that has in the same female sex organs as present, whereas in a males having the pair of the ZY chromosome. So they have only for that in a Z is what? It is a part of the in a male, it shows as in a autosome. It is in a completely autosome. Okay, next let us we discuss in that in a Next, sex determination in human beings. It has already has mentioned the sex determining mechanism in the case of the humans, that is a XY type. It is as in a XY type of chromosomes are present as in a human beings. It is a 23 pairs of the chromosomes as present, 22 pairs of in exactly the same both and male and female. So the both has in a XY, X is the total is 22 pairs is common, and there are only autosomes, a pair of X chromosome present on the female, whereas the present as in a X and Y chromosomes are determination of the male and female characters. So it is present X is completely male, female, XY is in a completely in a female. So during the spermatogenesis among the male, the two types of gametes are produced, 50% of the total sperms produced carry as in a completely X chromosome. The 50% are as in a Y chromosomes based on the autosomes. So how do the males females comes means if 50% as in a complete sperms, 50% as in a their Y chromosomes based on to get forms as in a their sexes, they complete their determine. And females, however, they produced as in a only one type of ovum X chromosome, and their equal probability the fertilization ovum the sperms the carrying as an XY chromosome case. So their XY chromosome they are completely they carrying as an X and Y chromosomes, then only their fertilization probability is there. Here the fertilization is takes place. In case here, see in case the ovum fertilized with as a sperms carrying X chromosome, for example, it takes place as an X chromosome, the zygote is developed as in a that completely XS chromosome. It is developed as what? XS means that is what it is completely get as form as in a female. Okay. After fertilization, ovule, the Y chromosome carrying the sperm result to formation as what? Y. After the fertilization, they get form as in a Y chromosome. It make as what? That is completely Y chromosome. So there's evidence that in a the genetic makeup of the sperm that determines as in the child also is evidence as in a the age pregnancy of in a 50% of in probability either male or the female child. So the 50% probability they given in pregnancy that show as in a male or female. Okay, unfortunately that in a the society the women they are the blame to giving that birth female children's, that birth of the children's they have been that hospitalized and then alive they are treated with as because they are false notion. So that complete they decrease this total the female birth, then only they are completely they are not giving that in proper information. Okay, next here the sex determination in honeybees. Next one is what? Sex determination in honeybees. Let it. The sex determination of the honeybees is based on the number of set of the chromosomes. Here they see that in a number of the set of the chromosomes based on here there takes place. See the individual receive in the offspring formed as in a from union of the sperm and egg developed as in a female queen or workers. Here complete development egg develop into as in a male or female that workers are and queen, and then unfertilized eggs develop into as in a male or drones. Unfertilized, so fertilized that takes place as a queen or workers, and fertilized eggs to get forms as only for then a drone. That means in a the parthenogenesis, that is in a parthenogenesis process. That means that in a males having a off number of the chromosomes, then female that having in a diploid having as in a 32 chromosomes, male having a haploid chromosome. So here female has in 32 chromosomes, male has in a they are only for 16 chromosomes, and having the 16 chromosomes as called as in a haploid sex determination of the system. The special characteristic features such as in a males produced as in a the spermatomitosis, they do not have the further and cannot be having the sons, but having a the grandfather you get in a grandsons. So the genes how do they get comes? Here they completely the parents to means grandfather to grandson, so the genes are carrying to as in a generation to generation. Next, how the sex determination mechanism different in that in a birds, because they are showing as what then a ZW and then ZZ characters. Here they having as in a ZW and then ZZ characters, they get completely to differ to as in a egg and remaining to discuss in next class. Thank you for watching. Like, share and subscribe.